Hi, I'm Les Miller. Love is the fulfilling of the law. Just what does that mean? Let's get the Bible verse that a lot of people quote when an evangelical and a Seventh-day Adventist are discussing the seventh-day Sabbath and whether it's true Bible doctrine or not. And that is, of course, from Matthew 5 and verse 17. Do not think that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Over on my couch over here, when we were living in the old place, about 22, 23 years ago, I'm having a Bible study, a discussion with an evangelical friend. And we get to this verse, and I try to tell him, this does not mean the Ten Commandments are done away with. But from his point of view, fulfill the law here meant the law no longer applies. Well, we literally went back and forth for 20 minutes. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. And I realized how pointless it is to get into arguments like that. It's got to be the Bible itself that will convince you or anybody else of anything right or wrong. And if they're not willing to hear the Bible, they're not willing to hear you. If you come at somebody with a dozen Bible verses that clearly prove a point and they reject it because they just don't want to accept it, and you come back at them later with 40 that prove the same point, you'll still be banging against a closed door. There's nothing you can do about it. Does verse 17 mean fulfill, mean destroy? Well, he just said, don't think I came to destroy. So is that what it meant? Don't think I came to destroy the law. I came to destroy the law. And verse 18, reading from the New King James. For assuredly I say to you, till heaven and earth pass away, one jot or one tittle will by no means pass from the law till all is fulfilled. Borrowing from King James English, dot of the I, cross of a T. That's the jot and the tittle. One of the greatest proofs that the Bible really is God's book, inspired and written really by Him, even though human beings held the pens, is in the fact that when you have a mystery verse that's hard to understand, there is a verse somewhere else that will comment on it, will explain it. And often it uses the exact same word in a way that is able to be understood. And we have, for Matthew 5:17 and the mystery here, an answer from the book of James, and that is chapter 2 of the book of James. It's verse 8. If you really fulfill the royal law, according to the scripture, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. You do well. And then he goes on to comment in the next few verses on an application of that idea. But it's a wide-ranging application you can apply to different situations. If I want to fulfill the law that says, do not covet my neighbor's wife, am I going to covet my neighbor's wife? Yes or no? You see? To obey is to fulfill. He obeyed the Ten Commandments, Christ did, because the Ten Commandments define sin, and he lived a perfect life. Therefore, he didn't sin. But he obeyed them more than just obeyed them. He fulfilled in the sense that he gave it meaning and purpose, because the Sermon on the Mount gives us a guideline on how to lovingly apply the principles of the Ten Commandments. And of course, it's not the only guideline that's in the New Testament, but that's really what it means to say love is the fulfilling of the law. Think about how Joseph, I'm filming this near Christmas, Joseph was a just man, right? That's book of Matthew. Just flip over quickly here, see if I can find it quickly. This is Matthew 1:19. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not wanting to make her a public example, was minded to put her away secretly. Think about that and compare it to the people who brought the woman caught in adultery to Jesus. They made a public example of her, therefore were they just men. You see, Joseph was willing to apply the law properly. And those other men weren't, and that's why Jesus said, he who is without sin among you, let him be the first to cast a stone. We could find example after example. More ways to say the same thing. True love includes applying the Ten Commandments to your life in the right way. I've got more videos that comment on this on the Mr. Les YouTube channel. Please go to the Ten Commandments and the Fruits of the Spirit. And I'll give you a link to the Les Millman channel, where there's the first of a two-part series called Which Laws Were Done Away When? Because he did fulfill the ceremonial laws in the sense that they were done away. We don't kill sheep anymore. I've got a detailed explanation of that in 2 videos on that channel. All right, so I hope this has been a blessing to you, and may God give you his grace today.